As annoying as the dollar defense is in Madden 23, there might be a more annoying offense that you can run against this meta defensive formation. Whether it's the ability to get open wide receivers or create actual opportunity for you to get players wide open, making your opponent adjust to a lot of different key factors, those are all the things that you have to do and you have to think about while your opponent sits in the most brainless defense in Madden 23. So in today's video, we're going to talk about a mini scheme and a playbook that nobody's talking about really right now, and I think you guys are going to really like it. Let's get into it. What is up, guys? Zan from the Zan Madden YouTube channel, and in today's video we're going to be talking about a formation that I think is flying under the radar right now. You are seeing a few players, if you guys are playing a lot of head-to-head right now, coming out in this formation online, and it's really good. It's really good. It doesn't matter whether you run actually the dollar meta or any other meta in the game. I think this formation is good, and this is the gun bunch open tight end, and this is in the Jacksonville Jaguars offense as well as the Washington Commanders. Now, the reason that I really like this formation is the spacing of the formation. When you're talking about a dollar DB blitz, a lot of these formations that people like to typically come out in, such as tight or even a more compressed version of bunch, will allow the slot corners to be right there next to the offensive line where they can come in free off the edge if your protection isn't good. However, when you are in a more spread out version of the bunch, you're going to notice that there's a lot of tells and frankly, a lot of misalignment issues that are associated with the spinner meta, or really any cover zero meta for that matter. So let's go ahead first and foremost and show you the problems that this formation will give to your opponent. So we'll start off first and foremost with the main settings that most players will play in dollar, which is base align automatically on, and then they're just going to press. Now, when we break the huddle here, this right here that you're looking at is actually something that is really interesting to note first and foremost. So when your opponent comes out on base align, the first thing you're going to notice is that this play art is all kinds of buggy. Even if I flip it, it will kind of work, but you're going to have a wide open receiver. So obviously with the spinner meta, the thing that most players tend to do is they press, but you're going to notice right away that any potential player that could be manned up on the uncovered slot receiver, number 13, is going to be in a poor alignment. So it's either going to be a user on the left with this linebacker manned up, which is a clear out leverage, or what they're going to do is they're going to put the slot corner on the right into man-to-man on A, in which case you're going to know right away that he is not blitzing because he's going to shift. So when I actually man him up and then put him on A, what we should see, and I think I've clicked around a little bit here, flipping the formation and whatnot, is he's going to shift. So I basically am already on baseline. If I press on defense and then I man up A, you see that guy slides inside. So that's an immediate tell that you're going to get when somebody mans up that player. Now, he also could, if it's a savvy player, man him up and then re-blitz him. But again, he's widened out a fair amount. This is a player that you know is a problem to deal with. So whenever you're facing dollar with this formation, you just know that this player is somebody that if they're going to blitz you, you could do something as simple as literally throwing the ball fast to the flat. This is a very, very simple combo. Just run this like a little screen call, which you ought to be doing instead of running a bubble screen. Especially if they're running a man-to-man play and they're pressing, make them do work to defend the inside-most receiver. If they're not going to cover him, you just throw flats with a free-form pass lead up, just like this, and take your yardage down the field. So the first thing that you're going to notice here is that playing a man-to-man on this is really, really difficult. Really, really difficult. Now, speaking of screen calls, we're going to actually introduce an RPO screen here, which is the RPO peak wide receiver screen. And the reason that I really like this screen is that what you can really do with this, a lot of players are going to pinch their defensive line trying to stop the run. I mean, and they might, man up on this player. They might put somebody in man-to-man on A here. Let's say they do, right? But even against man-to-man, screen calls are really effective. So you're going to be able to snap this ball, kind of throw this screen pass, and you see how that safety is really the only guy you have to beat. You guys may have seen on the intro that a lot of times if you just throw screen passes against these cover zero blitzes, the safety just takes the worst angles. So even if we man up this slot guy, it's really not the end of the world, because we could actually, motion inside. We could do a number of different things here. Motion him away. Now you see that we just got a little, basically a it's basically a one-on-one on the outside, but that safety can't really make a ton of plays with this. So you snap the ball, you lead him upfield, and we're gone, right? So you can take that slot corner out of the play if you want. He's either blitzing or manned up on that A receiver. You can motion away and it won't matter. So you've got that working for you. If they are blitzing, obviously, you could go ahead and just say, okay, well, if they're going to blitz, I'm going to have a 2-on-2 out here. I can throw this ball. And you see right there, even in that example, Christian Kirk didn't block for us on the outside, but it didn't matter. So these screen calls are very, very effective. If they're manning up A, you call the peak screen. If they aren't manning up A, you're going to just throw the ball quick to the flat and make them get out of their man-to-man zero blitz. So we're just playing real simple here, real annoying based off of spacing. We're not getting into intricate setups or abilities or anything crazy. Now, the other thing that you can consider with this is that a lot of players might go ahead and man up out here, but they've still got to account for the running back out of the backfield. So a lot of times this user, if they're undisciplined, especially when they're, trying to guarantee pressure maybe off the left side, they're going to hang out, they're going to mug gaps like this. And if you see that and you notice that they're sagging a little bit in the middle of the field, one thing that I would recommend is actually just going to this play wide trail and just basically getting people over the middle, just slants. Again, if it's man-to-man, just do this. Basically create your own combos that can pull all the man coverage away, get the ball out hot and go. You see how potent this can be. We're not doing anything crazy. We're keeping this really simple, really, really simple. If they want to be in a brainless defense, we're not going to think that much harder on offense. So naturally you're seeing that we could just do some quick stuff over there to the right side of the field against this look. Now here's what this formation looks like when they don't base align. So when they do this, they're going to get 3-on-3, or really 4-on-3 to this side. It's going to look crazy, right? This is an immediate tell that it's a zero blitz. If I were to compare that to say like 2-man under, you see the difference in what this looks like when it's 2-man under. That safety's not hanging out over there over the bunch. He drops back to a regular alignment. So you can tell the difference between cover 0 and cover 2 as well. So that's a real tell in this. Now, let's go ahead and kind of talk about some of the other plays that are in this formation, just because of a lot of to me, when I look at this, I don't really see a fair opportunity for players to play a ton of man-to-man coverage on this. So what I think you're likely going to see is probably more of the DB fire. And if you're getting DB fire, that is actually just perfect. It's perfect for a couple of reasons. One, you've got this play right here that is the play flood. And this play flood is really, really good. So what we could do against like a DB fire 2, if they're not really making too many adjustments, is probably just go to a straight up max protect, slide protect left, ID the right slot, and I would just streak A. I mean, this is real simple. I know this seems stupid, but it's actually amazing how effective this route combo is. You can just target past this up and outside. It's a touchdown every time against DB Fire 2. So really, really simple. Really, really simple. Now, guys, before we get into the rest of the scheme, I just want to let you know that we are working our tails off over at gridirongameplans.gg. If you guys are struggling with the man coverage meta, I put out an insane vault tip out of a playbook specific play, but really, man coverage cannot be run against this. It might be the dirtiest glitch in the game against man-to-man. And I know that it's always kind of like a hot combo when you put out something that is kind of a glitch. And let's be clear, it is a glitch. But I also break down the counter. So that way, for those of you that don't necessarily want to use things like that, you can be prepared when you guys are facing something like that and know exactly how to counter it. Definitely want the information no matter what side of the spectrum you're on. You could either be prepared to stop it, or if you're one of those players that is sick and tired of the cover 0 meta, have at it. We also have over 50 other vault tips that you guys can access in the months of August and September, and 5 offensive and defensive game plans. I actually just updated 3 of those game plans on the website, so go check it out. gridirongameplans.gg. $9.95 a month gets you everything on the website, including our Discord, where we have live lab sessions every Wednesday. Now, the next thing that I kind of want to talk about here is the fact that we have this tight end route. You've got a couple of different effective man-beating routes for the tight end. And really, it comes down to whether or not you have a route ability on the tight end. So for a lot of you probably have Dave Casper at this point if you're grinding MUT. Maybe if you guys have, really any tight end that gets short and elite should be fine for this. I'm going to use Evan Ingram, who doesn't have anything here. And I just kind of want to show you that, in general, your guys are going to have the opportunity to kind of throw some leverage balls down the field here. So when you take a look at how this works, they really are misaligned wide on that left side against this tight end. So he's kind of a feature player for you if you really think about it. They're going to have to do some work with their coverage to really, first and foremost, that they can't really run man because of the issues on the right side of the field or the running back side of the field. But if they're going to, first and foremost, you ought to be looking at your tight end off the line. That's a player that you have to be able to feed the football. Throws like that can be really, really simple if your opponent doesn't adjust against this formation and they're sitting in spinner. But in general, let's say that you're facing just regular run-of-the-mill man coverage, right? And you've got this play right here with this little sharp corner route. This is the money corner route in the game. This is the slot apprentice corner route. And this is the one that a lot of players will freeform. If you have short and elite on this, it will actually fry. But what's really, really cool about this play, wide trail, is that it kills man-to-man. Absolutely kills man-to-man. So when you take a look at this, you've got a lot of different routes that are great against man-to-man coverage. First and foremost, this is the mesh post out of gun bunch. It's just out wide. This is a phenomenal man and zone coverage beating post route. I could throw this ball to right bumper all day. You see that the guy that was supposed to be in man coverage on him is nowhere to be found, right? So again, I'll kind of show you how this looks. When you take a look at a play like this, let me flip the play a little bit here so we get better alignment. You can't be base aligned in a regular man-to-man coverage. Now, let's say that they stack up in a straight up two-man under with a press look. This is a great play as well because you still, again, have, some leverage issues. That backside linebacker has to get out over that, or else that's going to be an open throw. So once again, you're back into the whole, are they respecting the running back element? You snap this ball, you have the trail route. You see the trail route gets open over the middle. I would obviously be avoiding the user, but you're going to make the user have to choose the post over the top or the trail route returning underneath. Again, another great man-beating concept. So, again here, if you get man-to-man where they're not base aligned at all, this is a immediate alert to me that I'm running a play like trail, and I'm probably not going to do much more than put the running back on, a mix of routes. Leave them on the swing, use a wheel, use an in route, use an out route, whatever it is you want to do. But at the end of the day, you can rely pretty well on these posts. Now again, some of these post routes obviously are going to be a lot better if you have a route running ability. You're going to get more. I also classic pass led that. If you guys freeform, you're going to be able to throw these a lot easier as well. I'm a big proponent of the freeform passing. Definitely need to get used to that. It's really the only way to throw in this year's game, in my opinion. But again, here, if I throw this post again and I freeform it, right? You see right there, I can obviously lead it away from the man-to-man. You got to watch out for safeties. That's all you really have to worry about in that regard. If somebody's running a lot of cover one on you, for instance, that would be a really good opportunity to throw that post if you pull it with a streak. And what's really, really cool about the Jags offense is that they are a shotgun offense with a lot of gun counter runs. And this is one of the sneakier run concepts in the game, so you can always hop in between the bunch open tight end, whether you want to base out of it, audible into it, whatever it is you feel like you want to do. But you can always come back to a meta formation like the regular bunch and hit the counter out of that. And not a lot of players talk about how good gun counters are this year, but they are phenomenal runs. You see how this looks against Dollar. So again, a really, really solid and underrated book. I think Scratching the Surface Jags book is a phenomenal book. Wanted to kind of pass that forward to you guys here on the YouTube channel. If you're looking for a lot more high level content. This is obviously something I'm kind of freestyling out of here for YouTube, but I have my full scheme out of the X Nasty. It's a great offense. You guys ought to take a look at it. Attacks the meta extremely well. But this is a good book as well. So hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you guys give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or complaints, be sure to drop those below. We'll see you guys right back here tomorrow with our next video upload. Until then, this is Zan. Get in the lab and good luck.